It's okay. So here's the lesson that I would like to teach you. My current understanding of some certain things. Okay. And the first and foremost of which is all you have is today. What I mean all you have is today is by thinking about today is the last day of your life. I know a lot of people keep telling you that, and a lot of people saying that they are going to live a life like this, but they never try. They were just saying that, but not actually, actually resort to actions, actually exercise their life in a way that they actually live today as the last day of their life. They never do, just like I used to, and also maybe I am today. But what I mean by this, all you have is today, is by saying that you just imagine that today is your last day, right? Because you have so many days altogether, and you have been through so many repetitive, monotonous times, just like the past. And right now you're just trying to do some kind of change in your life, right? So, all you have is today, meaning you are going to try everything that you wanted to, but never have the guts to do so. And this kind of activity is not like the kind of things that would cause a long-term injury or maybe some kind of long-term damage to you, but more about the kind of things that is because you don't have the courage to do so, but you actually can. For example, all you have today is not like telling you to rob a bank or doing any kind of criminal activities. No. Absolutely no. All you have today meaning that when you're in your older age, okay, when you are in your 80s, in your 90s, looking back on the days at your young age, you will say that I don't regret anything that I did in that time. I feel like I have already tried my best to do all I can in my younger year. So that is kind of spirit that you need to have. And that is all you mean, what I try to say by all you have is today. For example, right now I want to get a score of IELTS. I'm preparing for the examination of IELTS and I want to get a 7.5. And in the past few days I was always trying to procrastinate this kind of task to tomorrow. And then when it actually hits to tomorrow, I'm thinking about maybe the next tomorrow, maybe the next day. This kind of repetitive loop, this kind of vicious circle just constantly affecting me. And right now, it's been a month, it's been 2 months, it's been years that I already say these kind of things to myself and I'm not yet being able to make a change. And now looking back on those days, would I feel regret? A lot of people would pretend that they don't regret about the things that they do, but deep down, they actually regret. And I'm going to be totally genuine to myself, okay? If I can go back to those times, I will work harder, I will do things better. But saying words is useless. Saying words is a total waste of your time. All you need to do is not saying words to the past, but doing actions, making decisions at now. So from now on, all I try to do is, I want to get a higher score so that I use my time grinding, learning, reading, listening, speaking, writing, right? I'm doing all this I'm using my time, as much as possible time in doing this in order to reach my goal eventually, so that in that time, I wouldn't feel regret for any decision, for any things that I have done in the past. So that is what I mean by first thing of all you have is today, okay? First, never let your, laziness, the kind of, sluggish, taking over you. No, that's not the kind of life you want. Absolutely not. The first thing. Second, courage. Right now, if I'm a businessman, I'm about to promote my product to a potential customers, and I'm walking on the street. I see a lot of people have the potential to pay to buy my product, and I don't have the gut to go in front of them to promote my product. And this is what I call the person with no courage. And with time goes by, maybe 10 months, 10 years goes by. Every time you can have the opportunity to promote yourself, you try to, you decided to stay back in your comfort zone and watching a bunch of short videos, playing video games, eating junk food, instead of making the right decision to actually step out of your comfort zone and make a bolder move. You know, maybe the bolder move cannot get the result that you want in that time, but eventually it provides you a lesson. And then you can learn something from it. And that's improvement, that's progress. You know, by doing more of these kind of reps, you will be able to figure out what kind of ways actually works, what kind of ways that doesn't work, okay? If you, so right now, if I ask you for $1, okay? If I ask you to donate $1 to this video, you probably wouldn't. If I say these kind of things 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times, 1,000,000 times, there will be some people are willing to donate me. So all I do is doing reps. And all these kind of reps will be better if you try to do it in your younger age. Right now I'm at the age of 24. This is the year of 2025. Now this is the year of 2020. This is the time of 2025. The last day of September. You know, the 30th of September. And I was born in the year of 2001, October the 17th. Right now I'm at the age of 24. Okay? So from now on, I'm looking back on some of the time in my past. I could have done something better, but I didn't. And right now I'm thinking about, you know, maybe it's better that I try to take a bolder move right now and stop acting like a coward, okay? Because all I have is today. And also the third example that I can give you is that when you go out the street, if you want an intimate relationship, if you want to find a good girl in your life, you want to find a good companion, you know, lifelong companion in your life, and you don't have the gut to going out to say hello to the one that you want, you will never be able to get what you want, okay? Nobody's going towards you. You have to go towards them and then make the mistakes and then learn from it and then improve from it, okay? That's the kind of spirit, that's the kind of things I want you to do. And also, a kind of reminder for myself. And you can see the line right over here. I write it down, just do it. Everything is just doing it, okay? Just do it. Simple and easy, just do it. If you want to promote yourself, just do it. If you want to learn something, just do it. If you want to hit on a girl, just do it, okay? Everything is about just do it. It's thinking about action, courage, persistence, and guts. Okay, and more importantly, clarity. If you don't have the clarity, you won't make a move. And the clarity can only be obtained through actions, through millions of times of practices, hundreds of thousands of times of practices. Okay, so the second thing I want to say, that I want to tell you the things that I'm just learning in these days is, you know, this is a kind of wisdom that I gained from a video that I watched on YouTube. It's about a warrior monk, and that inspired me at this point. You only possess the object when you genuinely don't want to possess. You know, if you want to possess a sports car, if you want to possess a new computer, if you want to possess a new item, okay, you probably will spend most of your time in doing that things in order to, you know, protect it. You want to flex it, you wanted to use it. And the more time that you spend on it, the more time this object possessing you rather than you possessing the object. It turns out that you are the slave of the object. You are the slave of your cell phone. You are the slave of your digital devices. You are the slave of all these kind of external entities. You are the slave. So if you want to be the master of it, you say, I only do things when I want to. And what I want to is probably not the same thing as what you want right now, okay? What you want is playing video games, what you want is watching short videos, what you want is, you know, have some kind of intimate touch. This is what you want because this is not actually what you want, but more about the animal instinct. Okay, the primal instinct inside you want. That's what it wants. That's what your body wants, but not what you really want. You need to figure out that. And at the current stage, I'm not yet, fully clear about what I want. But I'm gradually trying to figure out what I want. It's a process, So these would be the two things that I want to share here. And then here, maybe these two would be a little bit too serious, okay? So now let's move to something light. This one. This is about some kind of psychology stuff that I learned, okay? I'm pretty interested in manipulation and influence and persuasion, this kind of things. The kind of things that I can actually make somebody to do the action that I want. Okay? You can call it persuasion, you can call it manipulation, whatever, okay? So, the first thing that I learned is expensive is good. Expensive is good. It's like, there's a story, okay? There's some kind of chicken in a certain area, maybe in a farm. So the mother chicken was always taking care of the younger chicks. So there will be situations, younger chicks, doing a chip chip sound. So the mother chicken will try to take care of the little chicken. But there will be time that the little chicken don't try to make the chip chip sound, and the mother chicken accidentally kill it, because the mother chicken doesn't aware of the little chick's existence. So mother chick also hates a kind of animals, maybe like a fox, okay? Fox, mace, maybe maybe afraid of, maybe the mother chicken is really intimidated of wolf, okay? The wolf might making some kind of noises like woof woof. And then you'll be able to see that the wolf, there will be a time that and then there's a, oh fuck. I cannot tell the story straight, but I try my best, okay? There's some kind of psychologists, they are putting the little chicken, okay, little chick, that mother chicken will always taking care of it, and then they add a sound, attach a sound device on this little chicken, and the sound is actually imitating the sound of a wolf, and then the mother chicken hear it, immediately eliminate the little chick with the sound, even if the little chicken was, doing chip chip sound beforehand. The mother chicken just immediately eliminate that, annihilate the little chick. While at the same time, there's a wolf making the chip chip sound. The mother chicken allow that wolf inside her nest. So you see this kind of instinct. And as a human, we try to call this kind of instinct, attribute this kind of instinct to be some kind of animal-like stuff. We are humans, so we probably might not have these kind of things. No, we're human. We are the same. Okay. We also have the same code of all this, and maybe the thing doesn't seem to be so obvious as the one that I just mentioned, but it is a hidden thing. Okay. And the things I want to tell you about a hidden thing is right over here. So the first, expensive is good. So right now, if I give you a cup, one cup worth $99,999,000, and one cup worth only $1, and then I'm giving you a choice to choose which one. You're probably gonna choose the expensive one, right? Because you automatically think, you subconsciously think that the expensive one must be good. If you can think in that way, the same thing goes to most of the others. Okay? Most of the others who are not aware of the trick behind it. Alright? So, the most expensive one is like, so you are trying to thinking about the expensive one though. So that is to say, expensive is good. This is a common sense for the most of people. And that is one thing. If you want, good. Good is something that is good for you. That somebody wants. If you want yourself to be a person who everybody respects, who everybody wants, you make yourself expensive. Don't make yourself cheap. What are the cheap stuff? Cheap stuff are accessible, are easily accessible. Cheap stuff are in abundance. Okay, there is a great amount of them. People don't need that cheap stuff. People want an expensive stuff, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to afford it, but they want it. They wouldn't mind have it. But when it comes to the cheap stuff, nobody wants to have it at all. So make yourself become the expensive one, okay? This is something that I will enlighten to you right over here. And second is tell the reason when asked for help. There is an experiment that has been done from a psychologist, and the psychologist was doing he's going to a campus doing some kind of printing, and then the psychologist had five pages to print. He did a comparison experiment. The first, he go to the, there's a guy before him, and then the psychologist tell him that can you let me print first? I got 5 pages, and he can only make it successful to cut in line for maybe 43%. But there's another time that the psychologist tried to do another another experiment. He say, can I have 5 pages, I'm in a rush, because I'm in a rush, can you let me print first? So with that being said, he's able to make a 93% success by cutting in line. So you can see the huge difference between these two. And by simply saying a reason, you can have a higher chance of getting what you want. So I know this is the kind of things like a common sense, but you can apply it in many ways in your life. You should have some kind of creativity to try to apply this kind of theory in your life. And the third, contrast is a cheating code. Now you have a cup of water that is cold. You have a cup of water that is hot. You put 2 of your fingers inside these 2 cups. You fill it. And then I give you 2 same lukewarm water. And now I require you to take off your fingers and put them inside that cup. How do you feel? You feel the one from the hot water into now the lukewarm. You feel that this finger, you feel it is cold. And the one that is from the cold water into the lukewarm water, you think this is warm. But at the same time, this lukewarm water, they are the same. They are the same thing. They are the same temperature. Okay? So you can use these kind of things in your life to feel that contrast, comparison. So comparison that I can give you is that, okay, to make something reach to your expected, let's say, making something to your expected result. Okay, it's like if you fail the test, if you are a student, if you were a student, okay, if you are a student, whatever, if you are a student, you fail the test, you get an F, you get a D in your chemistry, you get an F in your English, you get a C in your mathematics, and then you are the one who is going to give this information, who is going to tell this kind of information to your dad, to your parents. How are you going to say things? Right now, if you tell me this immediately, if you tell your parents this immediately, they would think that this is horrible. How can you get such a horrible score? But if you try to frame it in a way that you tell an even worse thing in the first place, this doesn't seem to be as much as important though, right? So right now you don't say that things in the later on, okay? You say something in the beforehand. You tell your parents that you are walking in a way to school. You get hit by a car. You have a concussion of your bone. you have a spine injury, and you damage your intestine, it makes you become a totally vegetarian. At the end of the in the workhouse, in the hospital. Right now you're severely injured. You're almost like a dead person. You're almost like a vegetarian. Okay, you're almost like a vegetable on the bed. And then after you're telling this to your dad, to your parents, your parents will think, oh my God, what the hell is happening on you? He would think this is a really horrible news. And then after you telling this news, you follow up with, I get an F in my chemistry examination, I get a C in my mathematics examination, I got a F in my English. Who the hell would care about what kind of score that you have that time? Because at that time they have an obvious and more serious issue they need to deal with. So that the later one doesn't seem to be that kind of severe eventually. And then this the later part becomes acceptable for your parents. And this time, you try to tell your parents, and then after you tell the comparison to your parents, you tell your parents already gave you the reaction, then that will be the perfect time for you to say, okay Dad, everything that I tell you earlier was lying, okay? I didn't hurt my spine, I didn't hurt my intestine, I didn't get hit by the car, I didn't turn out to be, I didn't end up in the hospital as a vegetarian. No, I only failed the test. Well, your parents is probably gonna be a little bit, burst out of laughter, okay? Although he will still be a little bit annoyed by you telling them the lie, but it is acceptable, okay? Now it comes out that the test is not even a big issue, right? So this is the kind of things that you can actually persuade people to give the result that you want, okay? So now, this the third part, by simply telling a word story before you tell a less word story, so the less word story becomes acceptable. And your initial point is to try to make your parents accept this without punishing you. So now after you telling this, they can do it. They don't punish you for you failing the test. You get what you want. And this is a way that they accept it. They initially think it is acceptable for you to take the result, to fail the test. Can you see the thing behind it? That's beautiful.